Welcome to Noise and Nonsense, the podcast where the volume is always cranked to 11 and the conversation is sometimes, well, nonsensical. We're here to celebrate the loud, the weird, and the unapologetically noisy. Whether it's punk, rock, metal, shoegaze, or whatever else may be rattling your speakers. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm David. We have the Katatonics coming on today.
Yeah. We played back with the Katatonics in 23, I guess. It seems crazy to say that it was that long ago, but it was in the fall at Baker's Junction. It was a pretty
Baker's
fun
Junction's
time.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're a bunch of cool guys in the Katatonics.
We played with them, and they actually saved our show, kind of. It was even further back, 2018. So The Devil Let Us actually started as a Perfect Circle cover band called Myrmidons. I know, crazy, right? And same exact lineup. Nick on guitars, Joey, our vocalist, doing vocals, me on bass. My friend Dan was doing rhythm guitar at the time, and our drummer Pat on drums. And during that, we went into our second song. Nick went into the solo. First note of the solo, his amp dies.
Oh, no.
It just quits. So, we kept playing the song, but I can't remember who it was, but one of the Catatonic folk came over and hooked Nick up with a head, and
awesome.
By the end of the song, Nick was back in playing. So
yeah, that's
they let us use it for the rest of the show. So
cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, the Catatonics.
They sound cool and they're cool.
They are, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they're like surfer rock, and I listened to a lot. I mean, we played that show, but
yeah.
I never really, I don't know, bands come in and out of your head when you're ADHD and whatever, just normal life too.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting into research, I really got into this, and Val appreciated not listening to anything heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. When I listen to them, I don't know why it does this to me. And it could have been because when I was a child, I watched so much Scooby-Doo. And, it was like old school Scooby-Doo. Yep. So it's like they always I don't know, their music takes me back to Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo chase scenes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I know the story behind they have one song called Prince of Darkness, which is, we'll probably learn about this today, but both of Danny's current bands right now have a song called Prince of Darkness.
Nice.
The Catatonics one is based on the surfing scene from Escape from New York. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I haven't.
It's a pretty good watch. It's not a serious watch, I don't think, but it's a good one. Yeah.
To check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to bring them into the studio here and see what they have to say?
Let's get them started.
All right.
We're welcoming the Katatonics into the studio today. How are y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Fabulous.
Could you all introduce yourselves, and what do you do in the band?
My name's Chris. I play guitar.
I'm Mike. I'm on bass.
I'm Leonidas Machiavelli. I'm a drummer.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for spending some time with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Do you all want to tell us about how your band got together and any fun backstory?
All right, so we're going to paint a picture here.
Brush strokes.
I was living in Montana back in 2012. I met a guy named EJ. He lived here in Bloomington, but he was working oil out there. We met, we started playing music, and he recruited me to move to Bloomington to play drums in his band, Shut Up. Shortly after moving here, he moved to Chattanooga. I decided that, the music scene here is great in Bloomington, and I wanted to start my own thing, and it kind of went from there. I met a drummer and a stand-up bass player, and we kind of played like horror, punk, surf stuff for a while, and then we went through some transitions, and we were a four-piece for a while, I would say. Help me out if I'm rambling here.
You're completely right.
I want to do a quick shout out to Skeleton Men real quick.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. So while he's forming this original version of the Katatonics, Mike and I here were in a progressive punk surf style band called Skeleton Man, also instrumental. I was working at the Root Cellar doing a certain amount of promotion and booking where, yes, I had the Katatonics, Wet Willies, another great surf band from Bloomington that no longer exists. And for whatever reason, for whatever reason, we kept trying to play gigs with the Katatonics, but kept missing for whatever reason, whether we had to cancel or they had to cancel and whatnot. And then one day, I forget, I think it was a mutual friend of ours, Michael Pruitt, approached me to play drums on this one-off gig for Upland, where Hack was also playing, and it was half garage rock songs of Michael Pruitt's from his band, Solid State Physics, and then Katatonics songs. And after we got done with the gig, Chris asked me to come play drums for the Katatonics, which I'm a massive musical whore. So I had like 3 or 4 bands at the time, and one of them stopped being a band. So I was like, I got room for this. Let's go. And then shortly after that, he was talking about needing a second guitar player, and Mike here was just always bringing up fantastic.
I was always trying to make the Skeleton Men a surf band.
More surf, yeah. We were. He was definitely the really excellent surf element. I was like, well, I got to get these two guys together, and it took them about 3 seconds of seeing each other's gear and talking for them to really hit it off, and I think that's kind of.
We did, and I remember thinking he was British too when I first.
Did you thought he was British?
I did.
That's
I
awesome.
actually thought he was another Mike from another surf band, Found Drowned.
Right, exactly. And then that guy's not British either, right?
No, he's from Kentucky or something.
And I was like, oh man, the guy from Found Drowned wants to play surf music with me, and we started playing, and then I quickly found out it wasn't the same guy, but it all worked out because
Yeah,
it
was magical.
But yeah, and then we went through those transition periods, and then COVID hit, and then we kind of lost some momentum, and I think we all got busy once we got back into normal life, and now we're just a 3-piece, and Mike has transitioned from rhythm guitar over to bass, and I mean honestly, I think the stuff we're playing now is the best stuff we've played so far. So, I mean, I'm happy where we're at, and I think we're just gonna keep going in that direction.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, for those who haven't heard you, could you describe your sound a little bit?
I believe we're my favorite description given to us by local madman Eddie Flowers was non-retro surf instrumentals. Okay. We definitely push more towards like rock instrumentals with the reverb surf sound, where previously with the stand-up bass we were definitely a lot more rockabilly influenced. But now I think we're just a lot more. We have proggy songs. We have we have proggy songs. We have like country rockin' songs. We've got we've got our Dodge commercial song.
Oh yeah, nice. We have 2 Dodge commercials.
Now we have 2 Dodge commercial songs. Yes.
Well, and I was telling David before you all arrived, you also could easily do a chase scene for Scooby-Doo.
I think we tried. Oh, we were doing the Monsters for a minute there. I think.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
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 There's a couple of theme songs that we go to. Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Theme.
We got a Buffy
nice.
theme. Yeah.
And trivia for the last so we've been in this band like 8. Mike and I have been in like 8 years, like 9 years.
Yeah, something like that.
And ever since we've been in the band, we finish every practice and 90% of our shows with the King of the Hill theme.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
It's how you know we're done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We played a show with you all way back, 2018.
Spooky one,
Castle.
Yeah. It was at the Bishop. And y'all actually saved our show. We were a Perfect Circle cover band at the time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Murder Noms was our name. It was like the second song, and our guitarist's head went out. And when you all swapped heads out real quick with him, and by the end of the song, he was playing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably one of our infamous Halloween gigs.
It was a Halloween gig.
For some reason, I was thinking it was that one up at the Halloween place.
No, that was you. No. You played with my band, Rearview Ronda. Yeah, that
and
was
XYZ.
Yep. Yeah.
The kids with the halftime basketball hoop shot. in
Yeah.
their set.
I
Oh,
forgot
man.
about that. Yeah.
There's so much energy. It was great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What are some of your influences that are kind of in the genre, or do you have influences that are outside the genre that you bring into the band?
Yeah, because whenever anybody gets into doing surf music, the big influence is obviously Dick Dale. So like everybody, you know, it all starts there. Yep. So everybody, but what's fun about it is a lot of people that play surf, like you're saying, they play all kinds of music. So like the solos that, like the musicality that Hack brings to it, like he's been influenced by punk and metal and even blues stuff. So like when he solos and goes into stuff, it's not just, you know, it's not your orthodox traditional surf. You know, there's some personality behind it. You know, you can hear that. And that's probably one of my favorite things about modern surf music is hearing people's influences from outside stuff. You know, making what is usually kind of, a lot of people perceive it as kind of boring and repetitive. But yeah, if you listen to these bands, like, you know.
Yeah, they're pretty provocative.
Right.
Yeah, personally, I didn't even know what surf music was until I met these guys. Like, I mean, I knew it was in a peripheral of some sort, but I never listened to it, I never thought about it. I was always, you know, I spent most of my life up to this point playing in, like, random punk bands and, you know, faster, more D-beat, more crude. And one of my favorite requests is, like, play less good. And then I met these guys and you know, started jamming with them, and it always felt good and connected. And then yeah, I mean, since I've been, you know, it's definitely changed the way I play, going from one style of punk and sort of new metal to now just having, like, you know, like understanding how to be rock and roll while still, like, maybe giving the energy of a dance band of some sort, you know.
And you had to bring up Shadowy Men again.
Yes, just to name drop a few,
right.
Shadowy Men on Shadowy Planet.
I like that dance part.
The Sadies is more of like a westerny version of Shadowy Men, and then Manaraster Man for sure. I mean,
Like space rock.
yeah, just hard hitting.
But that
just
dance
fat,
element,
yeah.
we're almost a disco band sometimes. You know?
Yeah, Four on the Floor is real in surf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Can you walk us through a little bit of your songwriting process? Like, what does a Katatonics practice or writing session look like?
I mean, so we play in Katatonics headquarters.
Private headquarters.
It's a private
Yes.
headquarters, and we're mic'd up every time we rehearse. So we usually hit record and just kind of warm up with a jam, which sometimes makes it into songs, sometimes doesn't. Just gets warmed up, and then we run through our list. And you know, sometimes, you know, like I said, sometimes we jam, we make something. Sometimes Chris just has things on deck. Both of these guys, like I said, are very, like, well versed in the classic surf. So there's always a new cover or a new, like, thing that they want to work on or manipulate or, you know, bring to the table. So that's always really, really interesting and excellent.
Yeah, I think the songwriting part is, it kind of just organically happens, and then it really just comes together when we have our practices. And it's like, what we basically unspokenly say, like, this song's gonna stay, this song's not gonna stay, and then by the end of it, we end up playing, like, everything that we have and being like, well, maybe we won't play that one at our next show, but it's still cool to learn how to play it. And I mean,
Well, we've got a lot of songs too that sound great on an album, but, like, you know,
Right.
when we're testing them for our set list, it's like, you know, we're amped up with so much energy and we can feel, like, what the crowd would be like, and then we hit one that's, like, really good, but it's like, all right,
and we do have built-in audibles too.
yeah,
for,
there's,
like,
you know, dropping
hey,
energy.
we want to bring down the energy or bring it up. We can
Yeah.
throw these songs in there. And
The old man in the back has a Quentin Tarantino shirt. Let's play Miserlou, you know.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So y'all have 3 albums out. I know you were talking earlier about COVID and how you recorded an album and did not release. Did you end up releasing that? I'm curious. Did that come
That
into
is still unreleased material.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's called Surfacide. It's the lost album.
yeah,
That's a good name too.
yeah. I mean, it's a great album. We did it. We recorded it. We put it down, and then we deleted it.
One of the songs was called "We're All Dying." We were very much kind of into the. What was it called?
The Four of Us Are Dying.
The Four of Us Are Dying. Yeah. We were kind of leaning into the vibe of the time.
Yeah.
I think you've kind of hinted on this. So you have Swamp Terror, which was 2017.
Right.
Operation Neptune 2019. And On Tour from Canada in 2022. How did the recording experiences for each album differ from each other? And did you have, obviously, I mean, from the hidden, not hidden, but the
Unreleased.
lost unreleased
Yeah.
album, the mindset was different, right?
Yeah, I mean, Swamp Terror was kind of our first like big thing. We put it on vinyl. I mean, we had a little bit of a deal with Cassette Land Records at the time.
Strike that name from the record.
Yeah.
Don't let him hear.
And there was a whole fiasco involving them too. But
Guy sucks.
We'll beat them out.
we recorded that in a church. I forgot who our engineer was at the time.
It was John Dawson.
John Dawson,
We
okay.
recorded it out at Farm Fresh Studios.
Okay. And then, so that was a great experience for us to all be in the studio the first time together. And Operation Neptune was pretty much the same thing, just in a different location.
A Russian recording.
Yep. And then this last one, this was all self-recorded
cool.
at Katatonics HQ. I mean, this was basically us hashing out and playing the best takes, and it was all recorded live. I mean, nothing was isolated, really. We're all playing in the same room. Yeah. And, I mean, stuff was added later, like little things were punched in here and there, but we wanted the feel of a live recording, and we also being in the studio twice at that point, I think we kind of felt that, we do better on our own, just like.
I mean, yeah, all of our, we're poor, so all of our record sessions or recording sessions have just been like one day.
Yeah.
Trying to put out a whole record, and that can definitely lend to like a little bit of
Settling.
Yeah.
settling
yeah.
or
you make
yeah,
sacrifices
yeah.
too, and you're just like,
Right. If we paid for Surfacide, we might have.
yeah.
Maybe we put it out. Yeah.
And then you're sitting there for hours and hours listening to the same song over and over and over and over again, and you're like, it's not getting any better. It's actually getting worse because my ears are getting fatigued, and I need to leave this area. So yeah, it's kind of nice to always have a recording set up where we practice, and we can just play, and we feel comfortable. It's kind of like if you're being filmed all the time, you kind of get used to it after a while.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I feel like our best takes come out of the HQ there.
Yeah, we even what was it? There was one of the first times we opened for Messer Chups, we did like a little ski video for
All right.
yeah, and that was just that was a version that we thought was really good off of one of our rehearsals.
Yeah, exactly. That was a practice tape, and we recorded it onto tape, and then put it out on YouTube, and yeah.
Are you guys working on anything right now? Any?
I mean,
Yes and no.
we're always working on stuff.
We're
but
always working.
Our lives have all become incredibly busy, so we don't get as together as regular as we used to. But we are still a proactive and creating entity.
Yes. I think there's always music coming. There's always ideas floating around. I think we're just kind
Just wrote a
of.
song today, even.
Yeah, I think we did write a song today.
I think we
We'll
wrote
have
two
to see.
songs if we
Yeah.
flesh 'em out.
But yeah, it has been tough with schedules, just getting together. I think our immediate plan is right now we're just building our set list for our May 10th show at the Bishop. And I think, there's definitely a new album in the works. It's but right now we're just building on that set list and focusing on that and doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Who are you playing with at the Bishop?
We will be joined with Yellow Rain and our buddies from St. Louis at Bass Amp and Dano.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yellow Rain's awesome.
Yeah, bass and bandana are really awesome too.
I am not
P.S.
familiar.
He's not a bass player.
No. Was there like a certain song or riff or specific artist that really made you want to make music? What was the spark that started y'all?
I mean, specifically for me, I've been playing music since I was like 11 or 12. I've always been really, really infatuated with sounds and music, but definitely the first time I heard Nirvana Nevermind and heard those wailing drums from Dave Grohl, I was like, I actually switched instruments at that point, and I have been drumming ever since. I started out playing guitar, and that was for me. That was that, and then of course I'm a classic drummer style, John Bonham and stuff, and then as time progresses and people become more in my peripherals or whatnot, I've got new heroes that they mimic or whatever and pull from in all of my writing styles. Even as much as it's punk and metal, like I still incorporate it into this band quite a bit while still keeping the surf sides. But I don't know, what do you boys? What got you going?
I mean, if we're talking like all time, I mean, the first,
right in the beginning.
yeah, like
In the beginning.
man, in the beginning, yeah. I think when I first got a guitar, the thing I was listening to the most was Sum 41, and I was just like all into it. I mean, and there was a kid I couldn't afford to go on the big field trip in middle school, so I had to go to like this other crappy version of a field trip. And I met this kid on the bus, and he like gave me All Killer No Filler on CD, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
Oh no, that's a Sum 41 album. I've been using that as like taglines on my promotions for years.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I mean, that was like my first introduction to like anything fast that had like aggression, emotion. Like, I was like, this. I mean, the guitars were super like, just like tight. Everything was like, just sounded good to me, and I just went with it. I mean, if we're starting from the beginning, I mean, obviously I had like a couple CDs that my mom got me, like when I was like.
Oh sure, I had teenage.
I got a particular CD in mind that you might relate to. You might a little bit too, but for the surf thing, the soundtrack to Pulp Fiction.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and just being like,
Real banger.
Oh, what's all this?
I didn't want to say that.
Right, yeah. Some would say that like the third wave of surf's popularity started because of that record in particular. So there's probably a lot of surf bands around just because of the soundtrack to that movie. So I always think that's a big influence is that soundtrack to that movie.
Well, I mean, the first like 5 or 6 years playing with you guys, every time we'd leave town, there'd be some old guy at the bar being like, "Oh, you're that."
Yeah, if you want to talk
Tarantino
about a
band."
riff,
Yeah.
Miserloo is the riff.
Yeah.
Like that entire song is like the riff of the music we're playing.
Also, let's bring up the fact that is one of those free agency like riffs that's actually a like Middle Eastern like 1400
Right.
song.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's like an old traditional
ancient and
something.
mysterious.
I mean, it's
Yeah. It's got no. They didn't sign their work.
I mean, it's just a scale. I mean, all he's doing is playing a scale, just
He's
with
also
tremolo
genius. He's
picking.
like, hey,
I mean,
man,
that's
got
it.
This one,
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, wow, surf music can be super simple, but super impactful at the same time.
Yeah.
So you said you started on guitar and then switched to drums later.
Yeah.
What about
I started
both.
on drums.
you started on drums?
Yeah, and then switched to guitar. Kind of weird how that happened.
Right.
I've attempted drums like at the beginning, but then like soon was like, yeah, you don't run out of breath as bad like on the guitar.
Yeah. I had to quit smoking.
Yeah, I mean, drums is definitely an endurance sport for sure.
An athlete.
Yeah, actually, when I was playing in other bands and I first met Mike, I remember it was at a Battle of the Bands at Jake's, and he comes up to me and he goes, I really liked your set tonight. I really liked you approach drumming like a football player. And I was like, well, you're not wrong, but that's not necessarily what I was going for.
Are you a hard hitter? Is that?
Yeah, because that Battle of the Bands, I was the first time. Well, people have joked about it before, but the sound engineer actually got on over the PA in between songs, and told me to turn down the drums because I was overloading their system, and that the owner was pissed off that like the 4 people out in the front of the place not there for the Battle of the Bands didn't want to hang out and drink beers. So during the pandemic, I've always been a hard hitter from like the shoulder, and then I actually relearned how to play drums during the pandemic. So I'm more. I still hit hard because I've got that in me, but I definitely play more from the fingertips and wrists like you're supposed to, as opposed to just smacking the other living shit out of them.
Cavemanning it. Bap, bap.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone as consistent in volume as you on drums. Like, it's almost robotic, honestly.
Well, thank you.
Very useful though for playing music, because we can always count on that being consistent.
Awesome. Is there something that another musician has taught you that has changed how you approach music, I guess? Like,
oh yeah. So also too, so pre-pandemic, just throw it out there, I was a massive workaholic. So as much as being in 3 bands and all the other things that I did, there was very little time left for my actual own practice. It was always show up to rehearsal, figure out what we're doing, learn whatever it is that's brought to me, and then move on. So at a certain point, while I'm bashing the shit out of it and like going exhausted, like I used to be in this like mathy, like hardcore band called Nice Piles, and like I said, I played from the shoulders. Very last show that I played with those guys, I lost 20 pounds in about a half an hour because it was so hot and I was just going to town so hard. And one of my more favorite local drummers at the time, who was also a hard hitter, was like, dude, like, you'll get a bigger sound if you play off the head. If you if you don't whack it so hard, or if you want to like show off, bring your arms up, but then once you get to the surface, just flick it, and you can get a much thicker and bigger sound. Because at a certain point, hitting those things does not make it louder. You're actually just like taking away from tone, or like that. So that was definitely something that was like I immediately took to heart, and started to really try to practice. Anyone else got a?
I forgot the question.
Somebody's told you, as a musician, some advice that you've been given that you've taken to heart and used. I got one for you.
Yeah, you go.
One time I was playing in my grandfather's country band, and I just learned the pentatonic scale. So like every time the singer would sing, I thought it was like a blues song, so I could. And then like in the middle of it, you're not gonna be able to hear this, but they're gonna. Darted up and gave me the iciest eyes I've ever. And I learned, like, all right, just, sometimes too much is too much,
Yeah. Less is more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are we?
do you want to let our listeners know the? Let's talk about the first instrument you ever played, and then what you're playing now. Like, I guess the specific instrument. We're getting gear friendly here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so
This silver drum set, man.
actually, I just retired that. Yeah. So
Where's
actually,
it retired to?
well, I'm gonna refurbish it. It's really like I've had it since I was 15. I've carried it all
Wow,
over the
that's
country.
old.
So yeah, it's got a lot of wear, a lot of tear. Finally built my dream kit, as my buddy Zach said, it's my Dave Grohl kit. I like to call it my Doom kit, but whatever. Big is big. I guess we're talking if we're talking drummer first instrument, it was a 96 Pearl Export that I had greatly modified to take away the jazz sound and make it a more thunky, heavier hitting kind of thing, 13 inch, 16 inch, and 22 inch. Now I play like I said, my dream kit. It is like a 26 by 20 inch bass drum and 8 inch by 14 inch, what they call Black Beauty snare drum, with a 40 strand snare and a Velocity, Evans Velocity head with a titanium plate in the middle, so I can if I'm playing with my metal band, I can hit the center and get the ping and the thickness. And if I'm playing with the surf guys, I can move out from the center a little bit and get more of a fuzzier, like 60s tone. And then I got a Pearl Export XXL 14 by 14 floor tom as a rack tom, and then my floor tom is an 18 by 18, also Pearl Export XXL, all with everything with double ply, like power dotted heads. And then my cymbals, I should know better as what they are. I know I have one Avedis raw bell crash that is the secret to my washing machine, and I've got another more like medium crash that I cannot remember. Like I bought it, I don't care about it, but it's always done me a good job, and I don't hate the sound of it, but it's not enough for me to like care about it. And then actually my ride cymbal is the rock the Zildjian rock ride crash that I actually got with my original kit when I was 15. I played with other things as the ride for a while, but ultimately once I like relearned how to like hold my sticks and play, it made a lot more sense about like understanding how to use the versatility of it. And then my hi-hats are pasty 14-inch something or others. I picked them up at a pawn shop because I used to break the shit out of my hi-hats all the time. And then of course I flip back and forth between single pedal and double pedal. So I have a Iron Cobra 900 double bass pedal for scenarios I have not played live yet. And then my trusty dusty is like I think it's like a Power 5000 Pearl multi drivetrain and beater head single pedal. It's tough, it's fast, and it kicks ass.
Yeah.
There's my rig rundown.
Yeah. Thank you.
Tell them about the Green Lotus, right?
I mean, that was before the Catatonics, though.
We're talking about first guitar.
Yeah.
Well,
First and now.
Oh yeah, my first guitar ever was a Lotus.
See, I already know the story.
And it was just a beat up thing, and I think my parents got me that guitar and like free lessons, which I never took. And then, but no, the first guitar in the Catatonics was an Xavier from Guitar Fetish, and it was one of their like stock like random guitars, and I mean they were cheap, they were pretty darn cheap. And then it was a custom built from Guitar Fetish with like Brighton Rock pickups, that was like the Brian May pickups, kind of Trisonic.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
pickups, yeah.
And then, so I loved those pickups so much that every guitar since had to have them. And I finally found a Burns London guitar, and I drove up to Lafayette to get it, and it was like, I mean, pristine. It has the actual Trisonic pickups from Burns London.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, that's the main thing. I
wanted to add something when you were saying something about the Xavier guitar. That, like when you first with the Catatonics, probably the thing that got the band together the most is the Boss Reverb Fender pedal. Because I had already been like, it was already on my radar, and then they came and played where I was working, and I was like, oh man, these guys, they got the reverb.
69 reverb?
No, I think it's officially called I want to say it's called the FSRV1, the Fender. It might be FR, whatever. It's the Fender reverb unit, but in a Boss pedal. So, yeah, we rocked those for a while, and yeah. So when I saw that with the Xavier Surf Green guitar, I was like, "That's a surf band right there."
Yeah, and then we upgraded, of course, to like Surfy Bear reverbs.
Yep.
And then, I mean, right now, I mean, PV Classic 50 head, all tube head. I replaced the preamp tubes with AT7s, I believe, which are cleaner. And then I'm playing out of a 115 cab. That's Fender. It's got a JBL. I'm pretty sure it's an original JBL too. And then a couple pedals, just the normal like tremolo, delay, all that boring stuff. But yeah, honestly, I mean, yeah, it's all about the guitar. Once you get your favorite guitar, it's like I can relax now. Yeah. Just play it, and then you obviously have stuff.
All right, so the first ever would be Red Harmony, like little miniature super strat looking thing. Got on Christmas Day, and then the amp my dad got me with it was this big like 100-watt Yamaha twin combo that had maybe some problems with it, but he got it like cheap. I think it started smoking the first time we turned it on, but it had a Kiss holographic sticker on it. I didn't even know who Kiss was. I was just like, who are these? You know, that was my introduction to Kiss. Was this holographic sticker. And then for the Katatonics, when I did guitar, I would play out of a Strat, and we did this like little Dick Dale wiring where you can turn the pickups on. His current guitar has it, where if it's a Strat style guitar, you could turn the bridge pickup on and have all the pickups on all at once, you know, kind of thing. So, you know, gives it like a surfy, big, you know, sound. And then once I got on bass, I was messing around with P-style, jazz-style basses, and then found a good deal on I'm rocking a white Thunderbird now. It's an Epiphone, but it's still Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And it's got the humbuckers on there, and so yeah, it's a big, thick sound compared to what it was, but we're liking it. I'm rocking flat wounds on it.
Okay.
Nice.
What are you using for? Oh yeah, you got into that already. We'll just cut that question out. Never mind.
So y'all said that you're playing May 10th at the Bishop.
Yes.
Awesome. Do you have anything after that, or is that?
Oh no, we don't.
Maybe
books?
something in August.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the thing in Southern Illinois.
Yeah, we
is it?
just ran into a friend and they mentioned something, so we just started talking about that. But so anywhere between May and August, we might be playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Definitely.
But we're,
May,
play-
at least, right?
we're
I
planning
mean,
on doing some summer.
We should hit up the Inferno room and see if we can get a. So this past September, I actually had a shoulder injury. We were playing a gig at the Bishop, and we were supposed to have a run of shows that weekend at the including like the Inferno room, and then actually I was supposed to go record with a different band, but I tore a rotator cuff. So it's been a long recovery on that, but yeah, we should definitely get a hold of the Inferno room and be like, hey, we can actually make it this year.
The Inferno room's like a tiki place in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, they have
Right
they have
up
a
the-
yearly
you
like
gotta, go surf heavy on that.
Yeah, they go-
bring an extra reverb pedal for that one.
they have a yearly luau event.
Nice.
Cool. Where can people find you? Your socials? Where's your music found? All that good stuff.
I would say everywhere. I would say the majority of our stuff now is on Bandcamp. We're still releasing to Spotify and all the other streaming services. We're just finding Bandcamp a little bit easier and better, and it tracks a lot more things. And no one's making money off Spotify anyway, so we release all of our releases everywhere through the
DistroKid.
DistroKid.
Yeah. And you can find us on Facebook and
I think
Instagram.
we have a YouTube also.
YouTube. Hell, didn't we buy the rights so that if you Google Katatonics, it just comes up with our banner and stuff?
Believe so.
I mean, I know it does come.
I mean,
I didn't know if we
we-
bought it or not, but
And the Katatonics.com
oh yeah,
also. We have a website,
Nice.
which we own that domain too.
yeah.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
is, it's worth some money now.
This is normally where I would bring out bring up that like what was like the wife of the COO of Delta Airlines was the first person that's trying to get us a website, but now they're crashing planes, so I don't know if we should bring that up.
Oh yeah.
Crashing planes, crashing websites.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you can find us streaming anywhere. We also have a Pandora channel still.
Oh,
Cool.
Yeah.
I
Which will kind of give you it'll give you us, and it'll also give you related surf music if you
true.
never listen to surf or want to check it out.
Cool. Thank you. Well, that about wraps it up. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share?
I have many thoughts that are maybe not final, but thank you for having us on. This has been a wonderful time.
I would say if you're in Bloomington on May 10th and you want to see us play, come to the Bishop.
Yeah, if this episode is out before then, if not, you really fucking missed out, bud.
Yep.
This should air 5/1.
Sick.
So,
That's May.
yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it May?
May 1st, yes.
Is
Yes,
it
it'll be out
May?
May 1st.
Mayday.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to the Katatonics for spending some time with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. You can catch my band, The Devil Lettuce, in Fort Wayne with Missing Parts Productions, May 24th, Mag 29th. We're going to be at the Mag Bar, August 29th, with Omen Killer.
And you can catch my band on May 5th at WFHB. We're going to do a live session there for a local live. And then on May 17th, we'll be playing at Gold Dust Vinyl. And May 23rd at the Blockhouse Bar.
Make sure you're following us on Instagram and YouTube at Noise and Nonsense Podcast. If you're interested in being a guest, shoot us a DM there or hit us up at noiseandnonsense podcast@gmail.com. Thanks
Thank
for
you
listening.
for listening.